As the Big Show would say, WrestleMania, baby, woo! Welcome to Mongrel Wrestling's review of Night One of WrestleMania. I am here to take you through all of the matches, the highs and the lows. Please give this video a like and share it around if you would be so inclined. And let's get straight into the action, shall we? Our opening contest saw United States champion Austin Theory defending his title against John Cena. And I don't know about all of you, but I was really worried going into this match because we all know that Austin Theory is the future and he should have beaten the past. But I kept seeing on the internet the talk backstage of Cena beating Theory, winning the title, and then losing it 2 days later on the Raw after WrestleMania to somebody like a Jay White or maybe a returning Matt Cardona, someone like that. And if you want to kill a superstar, you couldn't do much better than what they've done with Austin Theory. Let's all be honest. He failed in his Money in the Bank cash-in one of the worst fashions. I still rate Baron Corbin's worse, but that's just my opinion. Then we come all the way to a few weeks ago, and Theory has rebuilt himself. He's ditched the stupid selfie gimmick, and he's rebuilt himself into perhaps the de facto top heel on Raw, because every other champion is gone. And John Cena verbally destroys him on the mic, to a point where you started feeling sorry for the heel. And I'm very certain that's not how they wanted this match to go. We park all of that. Austin Theory makes his entrance tonight, and then the Make-A-Wish kids come out. And John Cena follows them. Now, their wish was to go to WrestleMania, so you can't really fault them for doing that. It was a beautiful gesture. But if John Cena's coming out with the Make-A-Wish kids, typically you don't then lose after that. So I was more worried now than I ever was. And even as the match started, I just kept getting more and more worried because Theory dominated this match. He really did. And normally when heels dominate in the way that Theory does, the babyface, that being Cena, ultimately comes back and wins. And then the ref goes down. It was all just being set up beautifully for a John Cena win. And I suppose, as wrestling fans, we shouldn't know the inner workings of backstage. So to be worried is actually a very good thing. And ultimately, I was very surprised by the end result. I picked Theory, but everything around it just pointed to a John Cena victory. So to have Theory low blow Cena, tick for a heel move. To have him tap out when the ref wasn't looking, tick for a heel move. And then pin John Cena clean as a whistle after hitting him with your finisher is a big tick. This was a star-making match for Austin Theory. It wasn't a match that was anything special, but it was the end result that really counted, because this is going to catapult Theory for the next year. He has something now that he can brag about endlessly. He just beat what Michael Cole keeps on saying is the greatest of all time. He can brag about that now. Maybe he didn't retire him like Baron Corbin did to Kurt Angle, but this is going to set Theory up tremendously for the coming year. Now, I don't know where he goes from here, because he's still the United States champion, but if we're all being honest, he's kind of past that now. He's gotten to a point where the United States Championship is kind of beneath him in a way. And hopefully tomorrow when Cody Rhodes wins the titles, it gives Raw back a world champion that somebody like Austin Theory can chase. As far as opening matches go, this will never rank amongst the best. But what it did do is make a main event star in the same way that happened to John Cena at WrestleMania 20. This was perfect for Austin Theory. after Theory's coming out party. Not like that. Well, maybe like that. We had what I think is the sleeper match of the night. I wasn't expecting much from this match, given it was just thrown together a matter of weeks ago. But if you put the Street Profits, Alpha Academy, the Viking Raiders, and Braun Strowman and Ricochet in the ring and give them 10 minutes to just go hell for leather, you get what we got tonight, which was an amazing Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. Now, granted, it was a lot of high spots, and it was a lot of double teaming, it was a lot of high flying, but it was still great. Everybody seemed to get their shots in. We had Braun Strowman running around the ring doing his bumpy stuff. Angelo Dawkins looked great. Montez Ford looked amazing. The Viking Raiders looked their dominant selves. Ricochet flew around the ring. Major props to Chad Gable for that massive German suplex on Braun Strowman that really got the crowd going. And even though I picked Braun Strowman and Ricochet to win, because I thought that was the direction they would go, I'm really happy for the Street Profits. I'm really happy, but I'm also really surprised, because we've kept on hearing that Montez Ford is going to turn into a single star, maybe he'd turn heel, and it just hasn't happened yet. And I'm really surprised that it hasn't happened yet. If this was Vince McMahon's WWE, the Street Profits would have broken up a year ago. And if I really think about it, it's a really good thing that they're taking their time with this. They don't need to do it right away. They can maybe wait until the draft and split them up amicably rather than making one of them turn heel. One of them should turn heel, that being Montez Ford, because I think there's much bigger things in his future, and we'll go through that tomorrow. But even so, to push them in the way that they are and make them the biggest deal out of this match is really good for them. I don't know whether this is going to lead to another championship opportunity. It was never mentioned. It should have been mentioned, because this match didn't have anything on the line, only to make everybody look good. You need to have something to strive for in a match, especially when it's thrown together like this. Just make it a number one contenders match. Did it really matter if it wasn't? But even though I was wrong in my prediction, because I did pick Braun Strowman and Ricochet to win, big tick for the Street Profits going over in the Tag Team Showcase. That leads us into our third match, which was arguably the match of the night. And when you watch this match and it's only arguable that this match is the match of the night, it just goes to show how good the rest of the show was. But we had Logan Paul going up against Seth Rollins. And again, I say, the production value is fantastic. The video package was excellent. The entrances were amazing. Logan Paul's especially was phenomenal. The way he rode down on that zipline thing was fantastic. I could have done without the microphone. He did get a bit annoying after a while, and maybe don't give him a live mic like that. But we can excuse that, because what came next was actually really, really cool. The conductor on the top of the stage conducting the entire audience in singing along to Seth Rollins' song was brilliant. What I would have done if I was in charge of doing this was I would have turned down the piped in crowd noise after the crowd had started to get going, because I don't think they quite knew what they were supposed to do. And it did look a little bit disjointed in parts. But that's just nitpicking. Also, What in the heck was Seth Rollins wearing? He looked ridiculous. And I thought to myself, if he's wrestling in that attire, it's going to look really bad. Thankfully, he had taken most of it off before he got to the ring. Now, what a match this was. Logan Paul is fantastic. This was only his 4th match. His 4th ever match. And he's doing stuff like this. Fantastic. This was a match that you would expect from 2 veterans. 2 in-ring seasoned veterans. And I suppose that's what you're going to get when you have Seth Rollins walking you through this match. But this match had everything. It was fantastic. You know, KSI being in the Prime bottle and helping out Logan Paul was really good. KSI then being splashed through a table by Logan Paul after Seth Rollins pulled him onto it was really, really good. Seth trying to take away Logan Paul's hand by stomping it onto the stairs was another really nice little touch. And in the end, Seth gets a much-needed victory because he has gone down in the last 3 WrestleManias. He went down to Kevin Owens at WrestleMania 36, Cesaro at 37, and then WrestleMania 38 to Cody Rhodes. He has been on a losing streak at WrestleManias, and he really shouldn't be because he is one of WWE's absolute finest. Now, I've said before, Rollins is in a little bit of a holding pattern until Raw gets a World Championship back. But now that I'm assuming that that's going to happen, Rollins is set up now. He can go for a World Championship. He can be a World Champion again. But if we're all being honest, so can Logan Paul. Logan Paul is almost set for life now. He's had 4 really, really strong matches. Maybe he needs to be a little bit more full-time. Maybe he needs to go for a mid-card title. Maybe he needs to even go to SmackDown and work on becoming a full-fledged wrestler, a full-fledged performer, rather than a YouTuber turned wrestler. But like everything that we've seen before, Theory and Cena, tick. Street Profits winning, tick. Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul and Seth Rollins winning, major tick. For everything I just said about the first 3 matches, and they were all great, this next one really did feel like a letdown when you consider the talent involved. Becky Lynch, Lita, Trish Stratus against Damage Control. This really felt like your standard 6-woman tag team TV match. It was really nothing special. I just don't understand why they couldn't have come up with anything better for these women. Now, for the most part of the match, I was really expecting a Trish Stratus heel turn, and that kind of took away from the match. So maybe my gripe is for the internet, basically, to not have those rumors flying around, because we kind of know it's coming now. Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch are going to face off at SummerSlam, but they could have gotten there a little bit better than what they gave us tonight. 4th match in, they gave them 15 minutes. It was pretty standard. There was nothing special to it. There was no drama. There was no real high spots except for a few. And in the end, the babyface team gets a feel-good win over the heel team that has been made to look useless ever since they arrived at SummerSlam last year. And that's without any hyperbole, and that's fully aware that Dakota Kai and Io Sky have been tag team champions for the most part of the last 6 months. I mean, could they not have put the titles on the line at least? Could they not have held off on the title change until tonight? This was the best they could do for them. I don't know. Ever since Becky Lynch came back from whatever she was doing last year, she's really looked a step down from the top women of the industry. Yeah, and that silence is really what sums it up most about this match. I didn't tweet anything about this match because there was nothing to tweet about. And that's really sad. It was just meh. There was nothing to it. And there really should have been. 2 Hall of Famers, the Women's Tag Team Champions, but that's really anything special. Becky Lynch, Bayley, Dakota Kai, Io Sky, and they really didn't do anything. Unfortunate, that. That was the first sort of meh match of the night. After the women bombed, I'm sorry to say that, we had the most entertaining match of the evening. Father versus son, Ray versus Dominic. And even the entrances just showed how much of a star Dominic Mysterio is going to be. That was amazing, that jailhouse entrance. I thought it couldn't get any better. And then Ray came out to Eddie Guerrero's music with Snoop Dogg. That was fantastic. I never thought Dominic Mysterio would make this good a heel. I never thought he would be this antagonistic. And he killed it in this match tonight. For every good heel, you need an equally good babyface, and that's what Rey Mysterio is. But Dominic Mysterio was phenomenal tonight. He did everything he could to get the crowd to hate him, and they hated him from the very moment he stepped out. From antagonizing his mum and sister, to Damien and Finn coming out, Legado del Fantasma, Bad Bunny, it was just incredible. This was a star-making performance. And Ray did everything he could to get his son over without actually giving him the win. I did expect Dominic to win because I thought that Ray would want to put his son over, but I can sort of now see where they're going with this. They gave Ray the feel-good moment of beating his son and teaching his son a lesson. They had him celebrate with his family to end the match. And it looks like they're really going to go in hard at WrestleMania Backlash with a tag team match. I'm guessing Ray and Damian Priest against Dominic and Bad Bunny. I've messed that up. Ray and Bad Bunny versus Dominic and Damian. That'd be weird if it was the other way around, wouldn't it? That would be a match. This was just fantastic. I loved every minute of this match. Every single thing they did was pitch perfect. And Michael Cole, I must say, he was on fire in this match. He is to Dominic what JR was to Triple H, the way he hates Dominic and wants him to just be beaten down by his father at every turn. It was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Another big tick. Match number 5. Now we come to, from an Australian perspective, the match of the night. Rhea Ripley going one-on-one with SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair. This will go down, in my opinion, as the greatest women's match in WrestleMania history. Granted, it doesn't have much competition up until recent history, but this was absolutely phenomenal. For everything that we said about Rhea and Charlotte's match 3 years ago, this surpassed it 10 times over. Absolutely brilliant stuff from both women who really looked like they had a point to prove, not being involved in the main event. This was just brutal. A fight. A physical, bare-knuckle fight from 2 women that just wanted to prove themselves on the biggest stage. Neither of them really needed to. They were both made women even before they stepped into the ring tonight. But especially for Rhea, she showed that she is at the top of her game. I couldn't even believe some of the stuff I was watching. And I had to remove myself almost. Because this was two women that were beating the hell out of each other. Almost to the point where I was feeling a little uncomfortable. You could see the emotion behind every shot. You could see the looks on their faces as they were just trying to murder each other. I couldn't believe it. I just could not believe how good this match was. And I love too that Rhea Ripley gets announced as being from Adelaide, because that just makes my heart smile so much. Where does Charlotte go from here? I don't know. Probably away for a while, and then she'll come back and win another championship just because she's Charlotte. But Rhea's the top dog now. Make no mistake. Fantastic match. Absolutely brilliant. I can't say any more words than this, really. This was just fantastic. And again, this is going to go down as one of the best women's matches that this company has ever produced. Ever. I'm struggling to think of anything better right now. Nothing that Bianca has did is any better. Nothing Asuka's done is any better. Nothing Charlotte, Becky, Ronda, Sasha. I can't think of anything. The only match that comes close is Becky and Sasha at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. That's it. Phenomenal. I could have done without the next 15 minutes. Miz and Snoop Dogg come out to announce the attendance, which, given WWE's track record, I'm pretty sure it wasn't 80,000, but that's neither here nor there. And then Snoop Dogg starts going on and on about The Miz not having a match. And when he started saying that, I really thought this was tailor-made for Bobby Lashley to come out and kill The Miz. But instead, they had Pat McAfee. And I know the crowd loved it, but for me, it was like that trumpet sound that you hear. You know, the wah, wah, wah. Could they not have used Lashley in this spot? Give him a 3-minute squash against The Miz? They had to use McAfee? They had to have the celebrity involvement with George Kittle? I don't know. This just sucked, I think. We went from Charlotte against Rhea to what I thought was going to be KO and Sammy against Usos, and we had this in between. It was the bathroom break. I guess that's why you put it there, but was there nothing else they could have done here? Karrion Kross could have come out and killed The Miz. Bronson Reed could have come out and killed The Miz. LA Knight could have come out and killed The Miz. Bobby Lashley could have come out and killed The Miz. And they had Pat McAfee. Maybe I'm just being harsh because I'm not the biggest fan of Pat McAfee, but they could have done so much more than what they did here. This sucked. And then we come to our main event. The match that deserved to be the main event. The match that should have been the main event. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn reuniting to take on undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, the Usos. What can you say about this story that hasn't been said already? What can you say about this match that probably hasn't been said already? For everything that I thought about Charlotte and Rhea, and their match was phenomenal. For everything I said about Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul, another fantastic match. This might have just topped it. For every bit of the story excellence of this match, it was equaled by the match's quality itself. The in-ring action was incredible from all four men. You could just see how much it meant to them, and you could see how everything that they did meant something, carried some weight in the match. The only gripe I have is there were mainly too many super kicks, because it felt like there was one every 30 seconds. But aside from that, this was just magnificent. The table spots, the high spots off the top rope, Sami Zayn being the great babyface, getting beaten down by the heel only to make the hot tag to Kevin Owens to really kick the match into gear. I just shake my head in amazement. I'm not sure where it will rank in terms of other main events, but this was fantastic. This might be the best main event I've ever seen in recent memory. And of course, it had the right ending. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn banishing the Usos and taking the tag team championships, ending the 600-plus day run of the champions. I'm not sure how long this reign is going to be. It really feels like it was a moment more than an actual transition into a different team. I don't think this is going to be a long reign. And I hope that they split the championships now. I'm not 100% sure they will, but I hope they do, because they shouldn't be carrying around both belts. There should be one for Raw, one for SmackDown, as it should be. And who knows? Maybe after the draft, they'll get a new team to come in and beat them. Because this wasn't about Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn becoming the champions. It was about Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn taking the championships away from the bloodline. Now that they've done that, now that they've crossed that off their list, the actual reign itself isn't going to be anything special. Well, maybe it will be. It probably will be. Let's be honest. It's probably going to be great. But that's not why they reunited. They reunited to vanquish the bloodline, and that's pretty much what they've done. Just a phenomenal, phenomenal ending to the show. And that, as they say, is that. Without even going into Night 2, which is tomorrow, this might go down as one of the best WrestleManias of all time. It might even go down as second only to WrestleMania 17. It was that good. There was really only one match that didn't deliver, and even then it wasn't terrible by any means. It was still a good match, but just not befitting of the women involved. Everything else was pitch perfect. And there's really nothing else I can say except to say that tomorrow might be even better, and tonight was damn near 10 out of 10. Damn near 10 out of 10. But anyway, that's all from me. Please give this video a like and share it around, as I said in the opening. Join me again tomorrow, and you can follow me on Twitter at Mongrel Wrestle. I'll leave the link down below. Be well, stay safe, and as always, stay mongrel.